All right. Hey, everybody. Let me just change the name of my screen and we will get rolling. All right, great. We'll probably have some stragglers go ahead and join us over the next few minutes, but we will get started on our continuing call about prospecting. Before we get started, anybody that's local in the South Bay, we're doing our event on Thursday, the 28th, down in South Redondo. I'm going to be speaking, Ed Kaminsky is going to be speaking, and we have this amazing mindset speaker named Ricky Mendez. So if you haven't already signed up, then go ahead to thriveordieevents.com. Danielle just put it in the chat. Thank you. And if you are going, bring a friend or two. It's going to be just an incredible, it's free. And it's just like these calls. It is agents helping agents. We are sharing information to better the industry. So if you can be there, we would love to have you as a guest. It'll be from 1 to 4 on the Thursday, and then we'll have a open bar and have a few drinks and laugh a little and network a little and have some fun. So we're going to pick up where we left off, which is prospecting. Prospecting is everything, guys, right? In this business and in every business, quite honestly. If you have you run a hotel, you've got a prospect for business. You run a pizza place, you got a prospect for business. Prospecting in every business is just of the utmost importance. It is the lifeblood of the business. So let's go to point number 1 for today. While you're prospecting for business, and by the way, so prospecting can be it can take many, many forms. You can call your past clients. You can talk to your center of influence, the people that you know in the community, friends, neighbors, family members. You can talk to expired listings for sale by owners. Some guys on this call do a lot of door knocking, just door knocking through the community. Some people call for rent by owners, right? They'll call people that have their properties for rent and ask if they thought about selling the property. Some people do probate work. Some people do divorces. Some people there's 100 different kinds of prospecting, right? So whichever form of prospecting is your most comfortable choice, keep that in mind as we discuss these points. So while prospecting, stay mentally focused on the following thoughts. Stay mentally focused on the following thoughts. Thought number 1. There is somebody in my marketplace that wants to go buy or sell today. Let's find them. It's important to understand there's actually, basically what this is that there is an abundance mindset. There's an abundance attitude. If you show up every day at work and you feel like, God, there's just no business out there. There's nobody that wants to buy or sell. I'm reading all the news. There's no listings. There's no buyers. If you come in with that mindset, you are putting yourself at a major disadvantage to find business. It's so important to start with the right mindset when it comes to prospecting. There is somebody in my marketplace that wants to buy or sell today. Let's go find them. In fact, wherever you're sitting right now, whether you're sitting in an office or at home or wherever you're at, I would venture to say that within like 1 mile of where you're sitting right now, there's probably listings that will be taken today, tomorrow, the day after. When we look at the number of listings that sell each year on a nationwide basis, every year there's about 5 million transactions that take place in the US. Last year, with the craziness of COVID and everybody buying and buying and buying, there was about 6 million. This year, it's expected to come back down to 5 million. That's still 5 million transactions. So there's still a consistency in the transactions. Unfortunately, a lot of us listen to the news, listen to other agents. We listen to stuff that is giving us the wrong interpretation of what's actually going on out there. And this point is really just combating that. There is somebody in my marketplace probably closer than you think, that is going to do some buying or selling today, tomorrow, this week, next week. Let's go find them. That's the mindset. While prospecting, the second mental focused thought that we're going to have is every no brings you closer to a yes. Every no brings you closer to a yes. That's a great thought to have. The reason why it's a great thought is this. For those of us that are prospectors, that are on the phone or at the door or doing a consistent level of prospecting, do you get yeses all the time? Do you get more no's or more yeses? Yeah, Mark just mouthed it. No. Chance, you were out door knocking for a couple of hours. Did you get more no's or yeses yesterday? No. Okay, I can read lips. Yeah, most people, they're not looking. Listen, if you look at any neighborhood and you look at the numbers, usually about 4% of any neighborhood is turning over every year. If you pull up Manhattan Beach, Hermosa, Redondo, Palos Verdes, Torrance, Culver City, it doesn't matter. Any neighborhood, you look at the number and you'll see how many homes there are, if you can get that total number, and how many sales take place. It's usually about 4% of any neighborhood, any marketplace, any city that transacts every year. If you talk to 100 people, that means most of those people are not moving this year. You're going to get more no's than yeses. If every time you get a no, are you going to allow yourself to get depressed? Are you going to allow yourself to get upset? I can't believe they said they don't want to move. No, of course not. Of course not. You're going to get more no's than yeses. Now, having the mindset, every no brings me closer to a yes. In other words, accepting the fact that there's going to be a bunch of no's before I get a yes. If you're calling your past clients and asking them for referrals, are you going to get a referral on every one of those calls? Absolutely not. And that's okay. Once you have that expectation, it really helps to set the stage for success. So number one, understanding that there are people in our marketplace that are buying or selling today. And number two, understanding that every no is going to bring me closer to a yes. It really sets our mental state in such a way to go out there and have success. And the third point about staying mentally focused and having the following thoughts are: prospecting is a simple process, but not an easy one. Prospecting is a simple process, but not an easy one. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going to. Isn't that an interesting thought? So is prospecting simple? Yes. Is it easy? Not necessarily. How simple is prospecting? What is prospecting really? Prospecting is talking to people, asking them how you can assist them. Do they have any requirements, any needs to buy or sell real estate? That's prospecting. Sounds simple enough, right? But is it easy? For those of you that prospect, you know that it takes a regular effort of doing it day in and day out. Is it exciting all the time? Absolutely not. Is it boring much of the time? Yes. Can it be stressful? Of course. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. But the back half of that thought is, yes, it's simple, and yes, it's not easy, but there are no shortcuts to any place worth going to. There's no shortcuts. If it was so easy, we'd all just be zillionaires. However, that is one of the beauties about this business, is that it levels the playing field. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going to. You can't just take a shortcut to have success. You actually have to put in the work and the time and the effort and the energy on a daily basis. But the level of success that you can have is extraordinary. It's quite wonderful. So again, just accepting the fact that there are no shortcuts to that success. Again, for me, that's kind of a nice thought, because you don't have to have any special education. You don't have to have some incredible, you know, head on your shoulders. You don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed. You don't have to be brilliant. You just have to be willing to do the simple things of prospecting to get the result, and be willing to not take the shortcut. I'm going to get on the phone for an hour a day. I'm going to get on the phone for 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day. It's entirely up to you. Next point. There are 3 opportunities for business with every person whom I talk to. There's 3 opportunities for business with every single person that you talk to. These people can be literally somebody, like you can be talking to a past client. You can be talking to a friend, a cousin, a neighbor. You can be talking to somebody that is your kid's friend's parents, right? You're at soccer practice or whatever. You could be talking to the maitre d' at a restaurant. You could be talking to your dry cleaner, your attorney, anybody. And there's always 3 opportunities for business from every single person that you talk to. Opportunity number 1. Can I do business with this person today or this month? You know, can I do some business with this person? Do they have any kind of desire to buy or sell real estate or invest in real estate? Number 2, can I get a referral from them? Can I get a referral? Who do they know? And number 3, can I add them to my center of influence list? Because as you grow your center of influence list, as you grow your database, that's future business that comes at you. That's people that you could give a consistent level of, to be their real estate resource and get future business from them. So how do you do that with each person? Can I do business? Number 1, can I do business with them, you know, now? Well, you got to ask them, right? You can say to them something to the effect of, listen, you know, let's say you're talking with your, either a past client, or you're talking with your attorney, or you're talking with your accountant, somebody you give business to, or you're talking with one of your kids' friends' parents or something. You know, you can share with them, you know, it's interesting. What I found over the years is that people generally want to do one of 3 things. Kind of crazy. They either want to get a bigger house, because people ask you, tell me about the real estate business or what's happening in the market. So you can always direct it towards this. You know, I find that most people want to do one of 3 things at any given time. They want to upgrade their house. They want to get a bigger house or a better location or something like that. Number 2, they want to potentially downsize, right? Maybe the kids moved out or something like that. Or number 3, they want to invest. They want to invest in real estate. Which one of those 3 seems to resonate with you the most? Oh boy, I'd love to invest in property. I just don't have any money. Or I don't have enough saved up. Or I don't think I didn't think I'd be able to afford something. Well, great. That just opens up a conversation. You know what? The first step is honestly just talking to a lender and seeing if it leads anywhere. So that's one way you can look for now business. You know, can I do business with them right now? You can have a conversation like that. Can I get a referral from them? Can you get a referral from them? Don't just assume that people know that you're in real estate and they want to give you referrals. Never make that assumption. Think about this, guys. Have you guys ever had a situation where a friend of yours bought or sold through somebody else? A neighbor of yours bought or sold through somebody else? Sometimes even a family member, like, or somebody that you know and that knows you're in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever assume that anytime they find somebody that wants to buy or sell real estate, they're just going to call you up. Don't assume that. Sometimes they think, gosh, I don't really, they might think all these wacky things. They might say, gosh, Phil, he's busy, and he sells just real expensive properties. And this person's got a less expensive property to sell. I don't think Phil would want to deal with that. Or they might say, Mark is a great guy and I know him well, but my next door neighbor, she's a little wacky, and I wouldn't want him to deal with her. And we're thinking, send them all. I'm not too busy. I like the wacky people. Like, I'll talk to anybody. I can determine who I can help. If we are not communicating with people and teaching them how to send us business, they won't necessarily send us business. So how do we do that? When we talk to our friends, when we talk to our clients, when we talk to the people we give business to, when we talk to anybody in our center of influence, spell it out for them. Hey, Allie, who do you know that actually needs to buy or sell any real estate right now? Is there anyone at all that you can think of? Maybe someone in your neighborhood, or maybe somebody that you work with that might need my assistance, that might want to buy or sell or maybe even invest. Is there anybody at all that you could think of? No? Listen, I appreciate you taking a moment to think about it. Allie, do me a favor. When you hear of anybody that needs that assistance, call me immediately. I'd love to work with them. You start saying that to your database, to the people that are important to you, they start to really understand. It gets ingrained in their head. When I've got a referral, I'm calling Allie. That's what I'm going to do. But you have to remind people. You have to let them, hey, Allie, I'm never too busy for referrals, ever. I have a goal to really help and support 10 families this year, 20 families, 50, whatever your goal is. And I want you to help me in any way that you can, please, to meet that goal. Right? Like, just be open and honest with people. I love helping people. It's what I do. If you hear of anybody, Allie, that needs any assistance, call me immediately. I'd love to help them. So those are, and then the third way, can you add someone to your center of influence? If you are, if you go to a dry cleaners once a week, whatever, however often you go to your dry cleaners, have a conversation with them. Do they need any assistance buying or selling any real estate? Hey, did I ever tell you I'm a real estate agent? I don't know if you knew that about me. Is there any assistance that you need currently with buying or selling or investing? Have you thought about that? Who do you know? If you hear of anybody, call me immediately. And then number three, if you have a really good rapport with this person, can you add them to your center of influence list? Sometimes I know that in talking to like Chad, right, you'll be door knocking a lot. Sometimes you'll come across somebody that you have just a great level of rapport with. They invite you into the house. They show you around. Like, you just, Sean in our team, who's not on the call today, a couple of weeks ago, he got invited to someone's house. They were playing. He's like, come play pool. Like, they were playing pool. It's like, oh my God, like, he obviously built some rapport with that person. You can add that person to your center of influence list. Ultimately, over time, the more you can grow that list of people, that group of people that you can pour value on over the years, that turns into repeat and referral business. So continuously build and add to that center of influence list. Next point. While prospecting, always keep this question in front of you. How can I help the person that I'm talking to right now get their home sold? Or how can I help this person I'm talking to right now purchase a home? Or how can I help this person right now invest? I was talking with Chad this morning. Chad's a door knocker. He goes out for, at least 3 hours a day, and he's talking to people, right? And Chad, you had how many conversations yesterday at the door?
32.
32. You talked to 32 people at the door. That's 32 conversations. And what we discussed is, Debbie's giving you a little round of applause. Thank you, Debbie, and a thumbs up. So that's not easy, right? 3 hours talking to 32 people. And what we found in having that conversation was Chad was saying that he didn't get any results. It was a little like flat. It was a little boring. And what we came to realize together was you were showing up at the door, maybe not with total enthusiasm, going through your script, just going on to the next door. But this point says you have to keep this question in mind. How can I help the person I'm talking to right now to get their home sold? Or how can I help the person I'm talking to right now purchase a home? When you really focus and gain intensity by asking questions like this, it starts to change the conversation. So what did we talk about this morning with Chad? Raising your level of energy, raising your level of enthusiasm, like raising your level of interest in helping really this person accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. In other words, it's showtime. You can't show up while you're prospecting half asleep. You really have to show up like it's showtime. Like you've got to really show up with energy, with enthusiasm. When you smile, listen, when you smile, what does it make the other person do? Smile.
Smile.
When you show up with energy, they show up with energy. When you're engaged, they're engaged. I think so much of the time, guys, when we prospect, when we talk to people, we're worried about looking silly. We're worrying about thinking, oh, are we begging for business? We're worried about, not looking good. We're worried about, we want to look professional. I'll tell you, when I really started having success with my prospecting was when I just let all that go and said, I'm just gonna have a good time with this. I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna serve them. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna show up with energy and enthusiasm. I'm gonna ask great questions, right? Mark on this call is a master at that. He'll show up at the door and he'll totally almost overact it. And it really is so disarming for people. He'll show up and say, hey, we just sold a home in the neighborhood. And when we show up, we know that when one home sells, usually two more will sell right away. And it's like, he's almost like overacting it, but people totally get engaged. They're like, two more? Really? Like it just engages the people he's talking to. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that with every conversation you have, but certainly smile more, get more energetic, get more enthusiastic. These are things that only help. Next point is super, super important in my opinion. I can't let someone else's response to my prospecting determine my future. If you're calling, listen, your past clients and your center of influence, these are people that care about you. But every once in a while, you have a bad conversation. You might call somebody that just lost their job or stubbed their toe the second before you call. They could be in just a rotten mood. They could be sick. They could have just lost money in the stock market. I mean, who knows? So not every call you make is a positive call, right? When you're prospecting, when you're talking to people, you're catching them at a lot of different stages in their life. Sometimes it goes great. Sometimes they're not in such a great mood. And what happens when they're not in a great mood? Now's not a good time. I got to go. Click. It's like, ouch, that was my past client. That hurt. How could they do that? Well, listen, it's not personal, but you can't let someone else's response to my prospecting determine my future. If I took that to heart and didn't understand, you know what, they're probably just having a bad day. It's okay. Let me give them that grace. It's okay. If I really took that to heart, I'd never be able to make another call again. Not every call is like a perfect, fireworks going off, yeses left and right. That's not how every call goes. So as long as you can separate the fact that you're not their response does not indicate what you're going to do in the future. I called my whole career, I not so much not at all anymore because there's not many of them out there, but I built it onto calling expired listings. Do you think every expired listing that I called was happy to hear from me? Most were not. Do you think every time I call them, how many of them hung up on me? How many of them cursed me out? How many of them yelled at me, right? But I just had to remind myself, I can't let someone else's response to my prospecting determine my future. Otherwise, I'd make a call, they'd hang up on me and I'd say, this doesn't work. That hurts too much. How could they do? I'm just trying to call these people and help them and they hang up on me. Like, forget them. Let me just throw this whole thing in the trash. No, just separate that. I'm not going to let the fact that they're unhappy to receive the call, that they're having a bad day, that they're getting calls from 10 or 20 other agents, that they're frustrated because their house hasn't sold. That's a stressful thing. Imagine having a job transfer. You got to go to Austin. You start your job in 6 weeks. You have your home on the market. It doesn't sell. That's
Lower the
stressful.
price.
Lower the prices. Yeah, it's generally going to be it. But imagine how stressful that is. And now the house falls off the market and you get calls from 20 agents, right? So I learned that you can't let someone else's response determine your future. Very, very, very important point. We'll cover a few more prospecting points and then we'll wrap it up, or we'll open it up for questions, just 3 or 4 more minutes. So the next point is this: we have to really work hard to strengthen the link between prospecting and achieving the goals that we've set. We already talked about this earlier. Is prospecting always fun? Do you always get results? Is it always exciting? No, 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 it's not. But you have to accept the fact that it's not always fun. You have to accept the fact that it's not always exciting. So how do you get through it then? If I'm going to be prospecting, God, if I have to spend a couple hours and call my past clients and call my center of influence and, do all these things, how do I get through it? Well, number one is you strengthen the link between prospecting and the goals that you've set. In other words, when you really understand and can truly understand that doing this prospecting is going to lead me to achieving these goals, then you can many times deal with the fact that it's not fun, not exciting, getting rejected, all those things. So the question is, what are your goals? Have you taken the time to really define what your goals are in this business? If you have you written them down? Have you actually written them down? If you've written them down, do you actually look at them? You can write them down, throw them in a drawer somewhere, right? That doesn't help a whole lot.
No.
So have you defined what your goals are? Have you written them down? Do you look at them all the time?
What's your
You want to
why?
really take it to the next level? Cut out some pictures of the things that you want.
Mhm.
It's an incredibly powerful exercise. Once you have really defined what your goals are and you remind yourself of those goals on a regular basis, those are the things that really help you go through the challenging times in this business. Now, your goals are yours. They're not anybody else's. Just because, let's say Danny has a car, his goal is to have a Porsche, right? Would it be nice? Sure, but it's not my goal. Your goal has to resonate with you. Someone's goal could be an amazing vacation, a certain amount of listings taken, a certain amount of income, a certain house that they want to buy, a car that we want to drive,
Investments.
whatever it is. It could be helping your family, having more time off, contributing to a charitable cause, volunteering more. It doesn't have to be something, monetary. People do this business for different reasons.
Mhm.
Maybe it's just having a nice nest egg so you don't have to be stressed all the time.
Mhm.
So one way to determine those goals are things that you would like to do, places you would like to go, and things that you would like to have. That's one way that you can really help to determine your goals. You answer those 3 questions: things that I would like to do, and start writing down things I'd like to do. 5, 10, 20 things you'd like to do, places you'd like to go, and things you'd like to have. They don't have to be monetary. Again, it's not all about, money makes the world go around, right? You could want to spend more. One of my big goals was spending a lot of time, tons of time with my kids, with my wife, right? I never missed, I coached all the kids' sports team. I never missed a class trip when they were in elementary school. Like, it was all the moms and me. And I was like, Aaron, like, what, like, don't you work? I was like, yeah, but this is important to me, right? That was my goal. So things you'd like to do, places you'd like to go, things you'd like to have. That's a great goal setting exercise. Once you pick out the 2 or 3 or 4 things from those lists that really resonate with you, like really ring your bell, really get you excited, Those are the kinds of things that make you want to get up early, that make you want to really put in the effort throughout the day.
Passion.
Yeah, passion, exactly. When you can really connect your prospecting to your goals, you can say, my goodness, this prospecting thing, yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, it's not exciting. But when I see that it leads me directly to these goals, it's like, whoa, I'm like vaulting forward towards this because I have a new passion towards it. And you're right. Whoever said it becomes easier because the passion is really what's driving you.
Mhm.
So don't do anything for somebody else.
Thank
Really
you.
for yourself. Take the time to determine what really gets me excited about this business.
Mhm.
And then we can strengthen the link between prospecting and the goals. For the longest time, I don't have it up right now in my office, but I had a vision board, a goal board.
Hmm.
I cut out pictures of the things I wanted to do. You know, I cut out a picture of like vacation places and like a family on the beach, you know, because I wanted to see my family together on a vacation, a car that I loved, a house that I loved, the lifestyle that I wanted, you know, a certain amount of money goal, money's, you know, money in the bank, my listing goal for how many listings I wanted to take or transactions I wanted to do. And it was a beautiful poster board. And I would look at it and just, God, that's exciting. And I'd look at it while I prospected. I'd have my scripts up and my vision board. And it was just a wonderful thing that I kept adding to. I just cut out a new picture and pasted over old ones. And so it's just one of these little things to keep you reminded about what's important. You know, have a picture of your family, your spouse, your children, your parents, whatever it is that really is going to help to motivate you to push this thing forward. So let's stop there and just kind of open the mics up. Does anybody have any fears, concerns, hurdles that they need to get over, challenges that they're facing? Anybody having a challenge in the business? If you're having that challenge, I promise you there's other people on this call having the exact same challenge. So if anything, let's bring it up now and determine what questions or challenges you may be having that we can answer and talk about as a group. Anybody have anything they're dealing with? Great. Everyone's got to figure it out. That's awesome. Well, if there is anything as you're going through this week and something shows up, and when I say challenges, this is how you can think of a challenge. A challenge is, or a problem, it's any place where you feel a loss of power, a loss of strength, a loss of confidence. As you're going through your week and you feel that loss of power, that loss of strength, that loss of confidence, write it down, make a note, because I don't want you to forget about it. Let's talk about it. If it's, my goodness, I don't know what to say in certain circumstances. I don't know how to really get a full commission. I just feel badly when I'm dealing with friends and I just want to cut commissions for them all day long. I don't know how to really show confidence to my clients if I don't feel that confidence internally. I don't mind going out and prospecting. I don't know who to call. Where do I start? Right? It can be a big question or a little question. But if there's any place in your business that you're feeling like there's a loss of power, a loss of strength, a loss of confidence, a loss of control, write it down and we'll talk about it on the next call. All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for everyone's participation. I just love the collaboration that we have. And if there's anything you need between this week and next week, reach out to me. Otherwise, make it a great, powerful week. You guys are the best. Keep up the great work and have a great week.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Be well.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday. Looking forward to it.
Me too.